What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good afternoon. Well, good morning still. Technically still a few minutes. You're watching Airlines Live. My name is Boy. It is Thursday, March 28th. We're standing at the Polderbaan, currently the only runway in use for arrivals. We have some wind blowing from the south. Well, southwest. 10 knots, 11 knots. Visibility below the ceiling is 10 kilometers or more. We have few clouds at 1700 feet, scattered clouds at 2300 feet, broken clouds at 4800 feet. That's also where the ceiling is. It's 8 degrees Celsius, roughly 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Low pressure, no significant changes, although we might incur a shower later. That remains to be seen. We've had an area of rain this morning passing over the Netherlands from south to north, which is why I waited it out. But there were also quite a few 747s expected between 12 and 3, so I figured let's go out a bit later today and see if we can catch them. The A380 is also still underway. This is our first heavy KLM flight 792 777-300 arriving from Sao Paulo. Underway for 10 hours and 30 minutes. 8-year-old airplane, first flight February 2016. And a warm welcome to everybody who has joined already. Hope you're doing well. Almost Easter weekend. And the runway is wet, as you guys can see. Big picture wise, this is what it looks like. This is looking to the south. This is where the wind is coming from. Looking to the west. Pilot Sander, by the way, also here. Great minds think alike. Looking to the southeast. Looking to the east. And looking to the chimneys to the northeast. The wind on the scale of chimney smoke looks like this. Standing a little bit further to the south, there was already somebody over there live streaming. Webcam Zandvoort or something, I believe. This is Iceland Air Flight 500. It's a MAX 8 737 underway now for 2 hours and 52 minutes. 5-year-old airplane. First flight February 2019. The airplane behind it, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota, KLM flight 656, is an A330-200. A little bit of crabbing, as you guys can see. Nothing substantial. But I'm looking forward to the 747s. I hope they're heavy. I hope they will use their reversers. As I was walking up here, caught up with Pilot Sander, and he already told me, and he already made a few. He showed me some clips of heavies that he filmed. Chinese triples going full blast on the reversers and producing a lot of spray, so that bodes well. Iceland Air forgoing the use of the reversers, but maybe the A330 will. Now, you might have heard him already. Chris Coot is also here, although where he is at the moment, I don't know. He's got ninja mode off the radar. This is KLM flight 656. 7 hours and 46 minutes on the way to get from Minneapolis to where it is right now. The PH-YHY. It reminds me of that clip of an Italian going to the optician. Has to read a line to check his eyesight. Not sure if you guys are watching Family Guy or South Park or The Simpsons. I refer to them often. childhood series that I grew up with. This airplane is 18 years old, first flight August 2005. Mr. Banana back after haven't watched me for about 4 months. You must have been very busy then. Welcome back, man. Good to have you. Come on, spool up those reversers. You know you want to. Sadly, Captain let down behind the controls, behind the wheel. The stick, I should say. Ah, interesting. Mr. Banana was busy making a game on VR. You a developer then? Or what is it called? Code writer? I speak a couple of languages, but I don't speak code languages. Well, let's hope that this cloud that is moving our way is not containing any precipitation. I did bring an umbrella along, so if there are short showers of a few minutes, we should weather it out easily, but let's hope it's going to stay dry. The living soundboard indeed, Wolfgang. Yeah, I can enable them, but then I have to walk back to the laptop. It's a bit more elaborate. I need a remote control, something like that. Totally forgot that the second A321neo of Transavia is expected to arrive today. I totally forgot to check, man. I have no idea, QJ. When is it expected to arrive? When I read about it earlier in the week, I did have a look on Flightradar to see if I could find the registration already, but I couldn't. And after that, I totally forgot to check again later. Ball Scratcher says, bro, in Sydney it is raining of A380s at the moment. Dude, are you trying to make us jealous? What the F? Good for you. Enjoy them. We only have one on a daily basis. Today is standard livery, Emirates. Right. Maybe after this airplane, do we have some time? No, we don't. There's an influx of airplanes. I was hoping I could show you Flightradar and show you guys the 747s that are all coming still before 3 o'clock local time. Our first queen, Cargolux, 68K, that's all it says over here on Flightradar. Arriving from Miami, Florida, 8 hours and 12 minutes underway. 747-400 HAFER, the LX LCL. She's 16 years old. Her first flight was in May 2007. The airplane behind it, Dreamliner 10, KLM Flight 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Master, also just in time to see the first queen of the show. Hope you're doing well, Rick. Now let's look and listen, and let's hope the reversers will be applied. Give us some spray, will you? Oh man. Bummer. Oh, now they... No. Just more spray on the tarmac there than there is over here. Yeah, well, Rick, over here the rain you guys are now having, we already had. So I saw on Flightradar, on the weather radar, that it was looking reasonably favorable. might incur 1 or 2 showers, but those would be momentary and short-lived. So I figured, particularly having seen the 747s that were expected, let's go out, let's just see how it goes. The weather for the upcoming weekend also isn't very favorable. Showers, not a single dry day, precipitation on all upcoming days. So I figured, if we do have a chance to go out, let's just take it. Right, well, that was the first queen. Now let's quickly turn back, because the next airplane is arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 78710 KLM flight 622. 7 hours and 27 minutes underway, 4 years old in total, first flight January 2020. And no, Rick, I haven't had a look at the long-term forecast. Is it good or is it bad? Do I want to know or not? Now, also a big thank you to Lena for just becoming a member, I think again, if I recall correctly. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, and be sure to use those custom emojis now at your disposal. Lovely cloudy sky, as you guys can see. Alright, the next airplane is a bit further out still, Transavia 737-800 arriving from Riga. Let's have a quick look at what is expected then. We have a Cathay Pacific Cargo 747-8 that is going to land very shortly. The A380 is over German heartland. The Orange Pride is outbound to Curacao. We have 2 Atlas Airs, one arriving around 2:30, one arriving around 2 o'clock, Kuehne and Nagel livery. Cargolux arriving from the east, Nairobi 747-400, 1:30 expected to arrive. Singapore Airlines cargo around 2 o'clock as well. The Transavia A321, the first A321neo is expected as well. Yeah, and of course then the second A321neo. Its estimated time of arrival, I don't know, so anybody knows more, do let us know in the chat. Now, definitely some showers in the vicinity. Looking at the haziness over there. Now, this is the direction the wind is coming from. Over here we are still good, unless this is containing any precipitation, but I don't think it is. Gary is also over here. Come on, mate, dive under, you know you want to. Yes. Grebes will be grebes. Now, the next 2 airplanes on their way over here. KLM flight 1740 up first, Embraer 175 arriving from Luxembourg. The airplane behind it, arriving from Leeds, is a German Airways Embraer 190. That 7478 should be flying somewhere left of me. Curious if I can spot it or not. few teeny tiny droplets are now falling. Looking left of me to see if I can spot that 7478, but I cannot, sadly. Now, so minor adjustment with the panhandle, just one notch lower. That should make it a bit easier to follow the airplanes. Yeah, you're right about that, Wolfgang. It does look like the man borrowed something from the garbage collectors. The man forgot his water bottle. He asked me if I could have a look, watch his gear as he was walking back to the car. Nice fella. I think it's his work clothing. There are a few droplets now falling. Minor drizzle. Should blow over in a few moments. Let's just keep the camera lens out of the wind and we should be fine, hopefully. Now, so a massive big thank you to MacG, who just now gifted 5 memberships. If you are one of the 5 recipients, don't forget to say thank you to MacG. Be sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal whenever you see fit. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, and a massive big thank you to MacG for your generosity. 5 new members courtesy of MacG. Cheers, man. This is KLM flight 1008 arriving from London Heathrow. It's a 737-800. 41 minutes underway. 23 years old. Well, looking in the direction the wind is blowing from, the sky is light, so I'm expecting that the current drizzle will stop in a few moments. And also good evening to Captain Eddie Bos and to cousin Andian. And thank you for your continued support, Captain Eddie Bos. 5 months of membership. Hello, boy. I with nephew Andian. Happy Easter Day. Happy Easter to you, my friend. And thank you so much for your continued support there. Hope you will still like it in the lounge. And if something isn't to your liking, do let me know. Maybe see if I can fix it. Our next airplane to arrive is an Embraer 190 arriving from Hamburg. And the Embraer 190 that is following it is arriving from JD's hometown Düsseldorf. And the drizzling in the meantime has stopped. That is good. Let's also quickly check if the lens has incurred any droplets or not, and wipe the camera screen and the phone screen dry. A refill of snacks, Rick says. I'm on it, man. Right, quick wipe down of screens here. Phone screen first. go. Camera screen as well. How's the lens looking? Looks to be dry, that's good. Did not catch any droplets just now. Right, up next, KLM flight 1856 arriving from Düsseldorf. Embraer 190. 30 minutes underway. 14 years old. The wind has also picked up a bit. I think it's also time to enable image stabilizer once again. Lesson learned from the last time it was blowing more substantially is that the dynamic image stabilizer seems to be working best. Does crop the picture a little bit, but you will see it immediately once I am enabling it. Once it has been enabled. There you go. Little crop, but also much more stable. Right, up next, KLM flight 1598 737-700 arriving from Rome. And also a massive thank you to Marion for your super chat, who writes good afternoon and hello from me and Maria. Well, good afternoon to you too. Thank you so much for joining me here again, and a good afternoon to everybody who has joined in the meantime. Now, Gus is asking about the A321neo, the new one. When is it expected to arrive? That's the information I'm still missing. My plan was to stick around until the 747s I showed you earlier have landed. Right, well, if the expected time of arrival is shortly before 2 o'clock, I should be around still. There are also 747s still expected after that, so I think the last I showed you was around 2:30 or so. If we're going to make it dry, or not substantially wet at least. The plan is to stick around until then at least. Well, second Queen is already in the background. In the foreground we have KLM flight 988 and Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Flight time 43 minutes, that is nominal. 15 years old, first flight January 2009. I think I'm going to forgo it. Focus on Her Highness, who is gracefully approaching Cathay Pacific Cargo flight 2038, Boeing 747-8, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, where it departed from 46 minutes ago. This airplane has been flying for 10 years, since April 2013. Oh, even better, because 1:45. Hopefully it's going to land on Polderbaan and not on the center runway, which will at one point reopen as secondary runway for arrivals. Of course, something we cannot influence. We should have good visibility to both glide slopes from over here. Well, and this is dynamic image stabilizer, and able to still see that things are a bit more shaky than if there is no wind. Doesn't fully negate the vibrations of the wind. Come on, yes. very nice. Full rudder to the left. Sweet, that was Queen number 2 of 6, I believe. Expected between now and 2:30 p.m. local time. You can see the local time in the bottom left corner of your screen. Also a massive big thank you to John, who just now gifted 5 more memberships. 5 new members of the Aurora Sky Lounge, courtesy of John. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to thank John and be sure to use your custom emojis whenever you see fit. Stefan, it is at the moment once again dry. We did have a few droplets earlier, but this is where the wind is coming from and we should be good for now. And the game plan for today is to stick around until at least the 747s that are now underway and expected to land between now and 2:30 have landed. Here we have an E2 Embraer arriving from Edinburgh, KLM flight 1278. 1 hour and 10 minutes underway. 1-year-old airplane, first flight May 2022. Here's your KLM style landing, keeping up the speed, vacating late. Zooming through the gate. If I'm not mistaken, the next Quad Squad member to arrive, and looky here, even some blue sky here and there. Who would have thought? I think it's the A380 that is up next. This is KLM flight 1060, Embraer 175 arriving from Cardiff. Let's have a quick look on flight radar and see. Yes, the next airplane to arrive is the A380. We have 2 Queens over here, 2 Queens over here. Yeah, so 6 in total. Pretty soon the A380 will enter into Dutch airspace and we can see what runway it will be assigned to. Might well be center. Now, Gary was here just now diving under, so he should re-emerge again. Ah, and there you go, all the way over there. Remarkably good underwater swimmers, those greens. And going under again. Back to manual focus. Bloop. Alrighty, next up. Arriving from Valencia, Transavia flight 6332. And I accidentally pressed away my chat window. How the F did I do that? chat window back up. Still not happy with that panhandle. Do that a bit higher. Right, next up, Vueling A320, flight 8309, arriving from Barcelona, where this airplane left from 1 hour and 48 minutes ago. This airplane 8 years old, first flight was in February 2016. And Stefan asks about the AMS hoodies. In my experience, they are just your average size, so I have medium, normally speaking, for sweaters, and for the hoodie I also bought a medium one to test, and for me it was the right size. So they're not necessarily bigger or smaller than normal. We can even see airplanes going out again. Things are clearing up a little. Going to Bergen, KLM flight 1185. Now, am I seeing this correctly? I think I am. There's even blue bits of sky in the direction the wind is blowing from. So that's definitely good news. Although I do get the impression that the wind has picked up a little bit. Maybe check the meter again after this airplane has landed. This is Anadolu Jet, operated by SmartLynx, arriving from Istanbul, flight 7768. It's a regular A321, 2 hours and 55 minutes underway. 18 years old, first flight February 2006. Still not seeing the very last messages in the chat window. I think now I have the last. Let me check if this now runs synchronous to my laptop after the landing has completed. That's running synchronous again. Okay, great. Now, check this out. I think this is called the sun. Two grebes. For once, the grebes are in the majority and the coots seem to be in the minority, because I've only seen one coot so far and still no duckies. The coot is compensating for just being alone by being more loud. Our next airplane is Transavia flight 5132, arriving from Barcelona. 737-800, 1 hour and 47 minutes underway, 7-year-old airplane, first flight June 2016. have a quick look at the weather, shall we? Right, runway usage probably still unchanged, yes. So we are standing over here. Currently the only runway being used for arrivals. However, I do expect that the center runway is going to open up as a secondary runway for arrivals later. Refresh of the weather. The METAR shows that wind is now blowing from the southwest. So that's a lot of crabbing then. 17 knots. Scattered clouds 2,300 feet, few clouds 2,000 feet, few clouds 1,800 feet. No more ceiling, 10 plus kilometers of visibility. And showers in the vicinity. Some of the clouds are towering cumulus. Low pressure. 10 degrees Celsius, that is roughly 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I am pasting the METAR into the ticker now for you guys. And our next airplane is Shamrock Flight 604 Aer Lingus A320 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. 1 hour and 8 minutes underway. 19 years old, first flight July 2004. Has the A380 reached the German-Dutch border already? Is it in Dutch airspace nearly, or already maybe? Curious what runway it will be assigned to, or has been assigned to. Dreamliner having taken off from the center runway just now. Two airplanes visible. In the foreground we have KLM Flight 962 Embraer 175 arriving from Newcastle. In the background we have an Embraer 190 KLM Flight 1986 arriving from Basel. 18C for the A380. Cheers, Paul. Not what I wanted to hear, but not unexpected. Then again, the side view from over here does allow us to see the corrections that they do in terms of banking. Plus, if it is crabbing, we still get to see it a little bit more than we otherwise would. As this is pointing a little bit towards us, revealing a bit more of its bulky livery. Seen any butt shots yet? Well, I'm standing a little bit offside, so it's a proxy butt shot. Hey, playtime! Returning to Iceland. Alrighty, this is KLM Flight 1986 arriving from Basel in Switzerland. 1 hour 2 minutes underway. Embraer 190, 14 years old, first flight July 2009. Airplane to land on center is on the glide slope already, looking on flight radar. Embraer 175 from Lot. Our next airplane is also an Embraer 175 arriving from Humberside, KLM flight 1486. And in the meantime, a massive big thank you to the cat, Meow Meow, for 5 gifted memberships. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you to the cat, and also thank you the cat for your generosity. 5 new members courtesy of the cat. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, everybody. Also a big thank you to Halil for your support there. 1 month of membership. Hello all. I love AMS Live. Well, I am very happy to hear that, and I hope you're going to like it in the lounge for many more months to come. Thank you, Halil, for your support there. Hey there, JD, what is up, my man? And thank you so much for sending the greets from Marja. Marianne also already sent me her greets, so I feel very blessed getting greeted by Marja twice now via both Marianne and via JD. Thank you so much. Stefan asks if I will do a live stream tomorrow. Well, that all depends on the weather. That's the answer I always give. It is always very much weather dependent. Unfortunately, when I looked on the weather radar site and had a look at the forecast for the upcoming Easter weekend, it looked like precipitation on all days. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow is the best day of the Easter weekend, so the answer is probably yes, but it is always weather dependent. Top Air Portugal in the foreground, arrival from Lisbon, A320. The airplane in the background is an EasyJet A319 arriving from Belfast. Nicely illuminated by the sun. Alright, once again 2 airplanes on the glide slope. EasyJet A319 arriving from Belfast in the foreground, and another EasyJet A319 in the background arriving from London Luton. Saudia Dreamliner arriving from Jeddah, flying parallel to the airplane arriving from Luton, which I am not yet seeing, but will soon enough. when we're going to the center runway at the moment. And we have the bird control vehicles, both K1 and H1. Bird controllers on parade instead of the firefighters. Now, Evelyn, thank you so much for a very generous super chat. She says, still can't believe the second Transavia A321neo is coming in today. Keep it up, man. I'm enjoying every bit of the streams. I will go out tomorrow. Radar says it's going to be good tomorrow with sun. Well, that sounds very promising. Thank you so much for your kind words, Evelyn. Evelyn, the very gifted painter that also already made a very lovely painting for me that you can see a picture of in the community section if you missed it when I received it from her while being live. Very gifted painter. So if you are interested in a made-to-order painting, do reach out to Evelyn. I know she doesn't want me to say that. Right. That's why it's funny. This is Saudia flight 215 arriving from Jeddah. 787-10 Dreamliner. 5 hours and 54 minutes underway. Landing on the center runway, as is the A380 going to do. So too will the A380. Now I need some coffee. Luckily I did bring some along. Get in English.exe working again properly. Meanwhile, we have an Embraer 190 from British Airways that is arriving from London City. Flight 8489. Flight time 43 minutes. 15 years old. First flight January 2009. High pitch. Almost A330-esque. Milky sunlight. It is out. Still a veil of clouds in between us and the sun at the moment. Does look a bit better in the direction the wind is blowing from. Definitely some open bits of blue, high cirrus clouds. No thunderstorms approaching just yet by the looks of it, so fingers crossed it's going to stay that way. Alright, time to show the big bird going to the center runway. Emirates flight 147 arriving from Dubai, standard livery. A380. Today this airplane has been flying for 6 hours and 37 minutes so far on this route, which is typical. 6.5 hours is what they usually clock when they're at this point in the sky. The airplane is 8 years old, this one. First flight was in August 2015. Now, if you just arrived to the channel just to see the A380 land, if you don't have to be anywhere, there's definitely reason to stick around until 2:30 local time. 4 more 747s are underway. Two from the east, two from the west. those arriving from the west are nearly certainly going to land on the runway we are standing next to. The two arriving from the east might do the same as the A380 is doing right now. But those 4 are still expected before 2:30 local time, which you can see in the bottom left corner. Also, word of warning for the viewers already, in the upcoming weekend over here in Central or mainland Europe, we are going to transition to daylight savings time, which means that the time I will start streaming for you might change with an hour. Now the wind is blowing in our direction somewhat, so let's listen if we can hear the reversers in a couple of moments. Well, I certainly heard it over here. Hope you guys did too. Hope that the wind rumble did not interfere too much. So yeah, if you guys are interested, more heavies are coming. Let me show you quickly. So the A380 has just landed. This is the KLM Orange Pride outbound. We have 2 Atlas Airs that one is flying over Northern Ireland already, one is behind it. This is the Kuehne and Nagel livery 7478 arriving from Chicago. We also have an Atlas Air that is in transition arriving from Miami, expected just past 2:30 local time. From the other side we have the Cargolux 747 that is arriving from Nairobi. We have Singapore also coming this way. We have the TRANSAVIA A321 Neo, the old one, and the second one is going to be delivered today, expected around 1:45 p.m. local time. Now, at the moment no traffic is coming to the Polderbaan. That is because there is a runway inspection in progress. Means we'll have to make do with traffic that is going to the center runway. The next airplane to arrive from Lufthansa, flight 2304. A320 arriving from Munich, 1 hour and 6 minutes underway. The airplane is 9 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in July 2014. Next up is a 737-700 arriving from Milan, KLM flight 1620. Embraer 190 arriving from Stuttgart behind it, and the next airplane to Polderbaan is already coming this way. Transavia flight 6144 arriving from Alicante, which will arrive here in a couple of minutes. Hey there, T-Mac. Good afternoon. Good to see you again. KLM flight 1620 arriving from Milan. 1 hour and 19 minutes underway. This one, 737-700. 13 years old. First flight February 2011. And Austrian Wolf, I think you just greeted Pirate, who is from Russia in Polish. I think it is Privet or Zdravstvuj, if you're for greeting a single person formally. Alrighty. Our next airplane, Transavia, arriving from Alicante, flight 6144. Now, within the hour, the second ever A321neo that Transavia is taking delivery of will be landing. Or at least that's what I've been told by you guys. So, looking forward to seeing that. Quarter to two. So that is in 15 minutes from now. Now this airplane on the way from Alicante, 2 hours and 10 minutes underway, the PH-YHY. The airplane is 5 years old. Its first flight was in January 2019. You can already see that there's a second airplane behind it, arriving from Nice, which is nice. That's an EasyJet A319. Qatar 777 arriving from Doha, going to the center runway, is not far behind it. Qatar flight 273 in the One World livery. K4 passing by, giving us a wave. Let's see, here we have it. This is Qatar flight 273 in the One World livery, arriving from Doha, 777-300 6 hours and 10 minutes underway. 16 years old, first flight November 2007. Let's have a look. Next airplane to arrive is Vueling flight 1377 A320, arriving from Alicante. 2 hours and 12 minutes on their way, 8 years old, and first flight was in May 2015. The airplane behind it that you can see is arriving from Darlington or Teesside. That's an E2 Embraer 195. And oh, Qatar is hovering again on flight radar. There's always something with those Qatar triples on flight radar, isn't there? We can also see that helicopter Kestrel is back. Proxy bot shot today. Well, still reasonably okay, I have to say. Not too bad. Right, up next, the E2 Embraer KLM flight 1534, arriving from Teesside or Darlington. Airplane behind it, already visible. There's another Vueling A320 arriving from Valencia. Let's see. Hi. Now the E2 has been flying for 59 minutes to get here so far from Teesside. It's the PH-YHY, 3 years old. First flight January 2021. I just remembered that I forgot to update the ticker, which still says that this is the only runway for arrivals, which clearly is outdated. Well, sounds. Alrighty. Quick update of the runway usage, because that is clearly outdated info. 18 right and 18 cent. Oh wait, I already did. I did put it in correctly. My bad. Well, it feels like the wind is picking up even more. Did not see that coming. This is Vueling flight 8353 A320, arriving from Valencia, 2 hours and 3 minutes on the way, 10-year-old airplane. First flight was in April 2013. Even when not facing the wind, my eyes are starting to water because of the wind. Traffic going to center with that Qatar still visible there, or at least on my screen there is still the Qatar One World special livery that is hovering now behind the Turkish A330 that is arriving from Istanbul, flight 1957. And in the meantime, EasyJet as well. A320 having arrived from Milan after 1 hour and 30 minutes of flight. Next up is going to be KLM flight 1074 arriving from Manchester. Massive big thank you to Shay TP for just becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you so much for your support there. And also a massive big thank you once again to Hans, who just now gifted 5 more memberships. Thank you so much, Hans. If you are one of the recipients of Hans's gifted memberships, don't forget to say thank you. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, guys. Next up is KLM flight 1074, 737-800 arriving from Manchester. 54 minutes underway. And Pim is informing us that the Transavia A321neo is now live on flight radar at Hamburg. So that is coming. Nice. Meanwhile, 2 more airplanes on the glide slope coming to Polderbaan. In the foreground, BA flight 434 A319 arriving from London Heathrow. The airplane behind it is arriving from Berlin, KLM flight 1824 737-800. Next up is going to be KLM flight 1824 arriving from Berlin, 737-800. And while I am putting a battery in my heated glove, hands are starting to get cold with that pounding wind. Very annoying. Almost April, still Such a shame, it is still necessary. Seems that our next airplane is a bit further out. Transavia flight 5818 737-800 arriving from Bari. Meanwhile, big picture wise, it does look like things have opened up a little bit more. If you look here to the northwest, a bit further to the north, still clouds here and there. Looking to the east, then inward, also still some clouds. Over here the sun is shining through a milky sky, but further in the distance you do have some blue sky. This is the direction the wind is blowing from. Also looks relatively okay, so might even get some sunshine here later, although also a lot of wind. Now, also a big thank you to JD for just now gifting 5 memberships. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say Dankeschön to JD and be sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal. Thank you so much, JD. Nice to have you on the stream again in between work and lunch and whatnot. Now, Transavia, flight 5818, arriving from Bari. 2 hours and 18 minutes. No go-arounds yet, if you guys just tuned in and were wondering. Despite the crosswind, with wind blowing now from the southwest, we haven't seen any go-arounds, at least since the stream has started today. Hi.
Just want to say hi. We are the guys from Denmark.
The guys from Denmark?
Yeah.
Ah!
If you remember.
Why didn't you say so? You guys arrived.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and a nice day to have picked. Did you guys bring umbrellas with you?
Yes, it's in the car.
Oh, in the car. Yeah, but you don't. They're useless whether in the car if it's raining over here or you're standing over here. Well, we've had a couple of droplets, but it has stayed mostly dry, luckily.
Yeah.
This morning was the majority. Now it's in the north of the country. But they said that there might be some showers in the afternoon, so, but I think they will land inward mostly. Well, yeah, I remember you guys announcing it, but do interrupt me and say hi sooner, man. You guys have been standing there already for a while. How long are you guys staying? Until Sunday. I thought tomorrow was going to be the best day of the upcoming weekend. They did say that there might be some rain on Saturday, Sunday, and I believe on Monday as well. Showers though, not full days of rain, but still. If the weather is good tomorrow morning, I will go out again. Absolutely. You guys coming too?
We're staying not so far in Haarlem.
In Haarlem?
Yes, in a hotel in Haarlem.
In the center of Haarlem?
Actually not, near the IKEA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, IKEA.
More the north of, or the east a little bit. Yeah. Well, you can go easily by train here and there, but how did you guys? Oh, you have a car? Rental or?
Sorry?
Rental car?
No, we drove all the way.
Oh, you drove all the way from Denmark? Oh, no shit. How long is the drive? 9 hours. 9 hours. Man. And you came over today?
No, we came Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. I was about to say, if you came today and also came to the runway, you guys are in for a long day already.
We were here Tuesday and we were here yesterday and today and tomorrow.
Wow, hardcore fans of Schiphol Airport. Well, it is a lovely day today, particularly with the crosswind now. You can see the airplane's crab. And indeed, Austrian Wolf, we have guests over here, two bystanders, father and son from Denmark, who drove all the way from Denmark to Haarlem, where they're staying on Tuesday. They're staying here until Sunday. Now, I never film people without their permission. If you want to say hi to the audience, that's cool. If you don't, that's also fine.
That's fine.
That's fine, okay, sure.
My son would like to take a photo with you.
Oh, of course.
Okay, he's a
Yeah,
big
of
fan.
course.
He's a big fan.
Well, first airplane to arrive is arriving from Copenhagen. Obviously, you have to give it the respect it deserves. This KLM flight 1128, 737-800, flight time an hour. Probably 9 or 10 hours of driving by car if you want to get here. Idle reverse landing. Slots are open, but no noise. And the next airplane to arrive is a 777-200ER arriving from Guayaquil, Ecuador. Probably after the landing of this airplane would be a good moment for a picture.
Yes.
Now, let's see, 2 airplanes on the glide slope, or is there a third one also visible? Not seeing anything. There is a third one on flight radar visible, but not yet for us here. The clouds are in the way a little bit, sadly. This is KLM flight 755 arriving from Guayaquil, Ecuador. Nearly 11 hours underway, 10 hours and 57 minutes, 17-year-old airplane. Very vain person, but I do feel that I have a runny nose, so let me blow my nose first, and let me also not saddle you guys up with that. Muted the voiceover mic for a minute. Back again. Nobody got deaf from me blowing my nose. Maybe you want to take the picture, or yeah? Okay, cool, man. Awesome, man. What is your name? Sebastian.
I am
Donzelli from the chat. Donzelli from the chat. He is here in person. Just took a selfie. Excellent. Well, if you guys are here tomorrow, do come over and say hi.
We will.
I will, if I do go out, I will probably be here around 9:45, which is normally my starting time. Usually until the A380, that is usually between 12:30 and 1 o'clock or something, depending on whether it is delayed or not. So probably if the weather is going to be dry, then I will be on the same, well, a little bit further. That's my normal spot, because then you have direct access to the first exit for the butt shots. Well rested. Good Friday. Is that also something that you guys have in Denmark? No. The grocery stores are always open. Also on Easter Day, also on Sunday and on Monday, particularly in cities like Haarlem.
But today is not national holiday.
No. We do have something on Friday, but that is not an official holiday. So most people who have a job and work on Fridays have to work tomorrow. Shops are also still open. Some shops may be closed on Monday. But grocery stores like Albert Heijn, etc., those are open on Monday and on Sunday as well, and particularly in the cities.
Because in Denmark, today and tomorrow is national holiday. Everything is closed. Nobody works.
In Denmark?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys all have an extended weekend then, from Thursday until also Monday?
Yeah, including Monday.
Wow. That's something that the Dutch should learn from. Yeah, in the Netherlands, the 5th of May is the Liberation Day, where we got liberated from the Germans in World War II. Used to be a national holiday, now it's only once every 5 years, so they even turned back that.
People have to work.
Yeah, the Dutch are very productive, or at least I think that's what they like to think on average. Likewise, gentlemen. Do hit me up, and don't be silent. Just say hi and announce that you're there, man. Apologies for that. I sometimes I don't know who's standing there. Sometimes they're just people that are here for the day. But if you guys definitely wanted to speak to me, just say so. Always. Yeah, it's very involved, that live streaming. Hey, take care, guys. Enjoy your stay. See you tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye. Alrighty. Our next airplane coming in, Egypt Air A321neo, arrival from Cairo in Egypt. The airplane has been flying for 4 hours and 17 minutes to get here. It is brand new. First flight July 2023. And seems that I do have to update the ticker now, because everything inbound is once again coming to the Polderbaan. Maybe after the landing of this airplane, that would be a good moment to do so. Also, have another look at the weather for you guys and all the Quad Squad members that are also coming. So, the second ever A321neo for Transavia is on its way from Hamburg to Amsterdam right now. And quick look at the map. Cargolux on its way over here. We have Singapore Airlines that is flying just north of Kassel. East of Sheffield, the first of two Atlas Air 747s. The other one is still west of Northern Ireland. Quick look at the meter. Let me also copy and paste that later. Wind more or less the same, 16 knots from 230 degrees. Few clouds at 1800 feet, scattered clouds at 4000 feet. We don't have any ceilings. Air temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, so that is still the same as it was before, around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Pasting it into the ticker for you guys. And departures now from 18 left and 18 center. And arrivals just to 18 right. Now, look at who is here. Russell. Yes, yes. Silently he snuck up behind me. Russell the Crow, he is back, checking in on me. And in the meantime, a 2 airplane glide slope shot. In the foreground we have KLM flight 1444 arriving from Aberdeen, 737-700. Behind it KLM flight 1414, 737-800 arriving from Lyon. There's also a Chinese 777 that has just taken off, and I'm looking, yeah, I can already see it. That is going to come this way. Ah, not just Russell, but he brought the whole Crow crew with him. One on the lantern here, one next to the cycling path, one on the other side, where the bird controllers are always driving past us. There's one. Oh, now gone off the lantern, into the field. Russell, Cheryl. And the Grebes. Meanwhile, the Chinese triple off to Shanghai, passing us by. Stefan asks, what is your most favorite plane today? Well, it still has to arrive. That's the airplane that is going to go around. Now, in all seriousness, I think probably the 747s that are coming in are the best looking, I think, of the whole bunch. Now, K4 has been replaced by K2. Pretty open skies over here, looking to the west. Unobstructed blue, this is where the wind is coming from, so still a bit of cloudiness coming this way. Not expecting unobstructed sunshine just yet. Now, Queen number 3 of 6 is coming, preceded by a 737 from KLM, flight 1928, 737-800 arriving from Geneva, 1 hour and 10 minutes underway. I am going to forgo it. Look at that backdrop, isn't that lovely? It is our third 747 of 6 in total until 2:30 or so. So in the next hour, 4 747s expected. You guys saw it already just now. This is Cargolux flight 2613 arriving from Nairobi, operated by Cargolux Italia. The airplane 8 hours and 38 minutes underway. 15 years old. First flight was in July 2008. Coffee time. The welcoming committee from bird control also there. Front row seat. I'm not jealous. Shirley asks, how often do you stream? Well, if the weather allows me to, I do try to go out from Thursdays until Sundays, but if there is a lot of rain on those days, I do also have Mondays that I can sometimes do instead. I do try to do nice. Evelyn is letting us know that the new A321neo is going to come to the Polderbaan. That is good news. Everything inbound is coming to the Polderbaan right now. It is the only runway in use, but it is going to stay the only runway at least until the A321neo has landed. Blue skies so nearby, and yet we are still having to make do with a milky sun. No halos, sadly, unlike earlier in the week. However, lovely open skies to the north, allowing us gorgeous glide slope shots with moving clouds in the background. Our next airplane to arrive is Air France flight 1740, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, A320, 43 minutes underway, 18 years old, first flight February 2006. And Corey asks, are they switching to runway 27? What makes you think that? I am not seeing any movements on flight radar that seems to indicate that runway 27 is going to open or has opened up for arrivals. Right, the number 2 behind it, arriving from the east, E2 Embraer 195, arriving from Gdansk in Poland, KLM flight 1918. And has anybody heard from Captain Glideslope what is going on? He was away for a while and then came back, but that was because he was doing an Amtrak holiday, and now it's been a week or two since we last heard of Jerry. Has anybody seen him in other live streams? Is he okay? He is missing out on some lovely glide slope shots today. That much is certain. Paul also hasn't seen Jerry in a while. Huh. Now, speaking about persons that were here before and now aren't anymore, has anybody heard anything from Paul... what was his name again? Paul Usher. He's still in my list of moderators, but he's gone MIA and hasn't returned since. Hope he's still alive and well. Right, let's see. There is traffic from both sides approaching the glide slope. Let's see if we can pick it up. First airplane should arrive from the left. BA flight 2542 arriving from London Gatwick. Yeah, there it is. And in the background, the number 3 is arriving from the right. That would be an Embraer 175 arriving from Linkoping, from KLM. Might be a bit lower then. Let's see. Or is it... are the clouds in the way? I think that might be the case. I think the clouds are still interfering with visibility to the third airplane. Hey! Paul has seen Paul Usher about 3 weeks ago. Had been unwell, sadly. How's he doing now, Paul? Other Paul. Austrian Wolf also hasn't seen Jerry in a while. Hope he's okay. Right, so this is BA flight 2542, the A320 arriving from London Gatwick that we saw turn onto the glide slope earlier from the left. Should be an airplane behind him. Behind it. Oh wait, that is still... flight radar. It's always a bit difficult to interpret flight radar, but there it is. Below it. At 5 o'clock now. And now number 2. KLM flight 1180, arriving from Linkoping, Embraer 175. Let me fixate the pen and tilt axis. Keep the footage as stable as possible. Corey says wind speed looks strong. Well, if you look in the ticker mate, you will see the wind speed and all the other relevant things of the weather. The wind, last time we checked the meter, 16 knots from 230 degrees, which is from the southwest, which is where the wind is often blowing from over here in the Netherlands. What a gorgeous backdrop. Okay, Paul Usher is better but not 100% still. Well, at least he's still in the land of the living. I was afraid that he might not be alive anymore. Might not have been alive anymore, so happy to hear that he's still among us. Well, he's still he's still listed as a moderator, so if you ever speak to him again, Paul, he's more than welcome to return if he feels it might benefit his recovery. Gets have arrived. More gets, more glory. Let's quickly turn back. We have 2 airplanes on the glide slope visible already. Third airplane is approaching. Oh, there's also a 4th flying. Where is it? What altitude is it flying? And on 5,000 feet and descending. Bombardier C-Series from Swiss is also coming this way. And do pass on that message, Paul. Thanks. Also a massive big thank you to Malaysia A380 fan Dallas, Australia, who celebrates 5 months of membership and writes, "Wow, 5 months, thanks for a great live stream today. Cheers mate, thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you still like it in the lounge. And I hope you are going to stay a frequent visitor for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular visitor." Kestrel, helicopter bird, hovering over there, perfectly still. The Mickey Mouse Air Transportation Taxi Company. Landings thus far have been very boring and solid. No iffy landings, no go arounds. Let's then at least have a butt shot to hey, heavy in the background. Nice triple. Or is it? Yeah, that's a triple, isn't it? Or are my eyes deceiving me? Dreamliner 10. Yeah, it's going to Toronto. There you go. Next up, EasyJet A320neo, and behind it is yet another A320neo from EasyJet. The first one arriving from London Gatwick, the second one arriving from Malaga. Helicopter Kestrel bird still there. 2 Kestrels. Yes, 2. Nice. The Mouse Air indeed, Wolfgang. Not a Mouser, but a Mouse Air. Righty, let's see. There's that Zurich Bombardier C-Series 100 or A220 100 that I tried to spot in the sky as it was flying downwind earlier. Arrival from Zurich, now number 2. The number 1 is the EasyJet A320neo arriving from Malaga. Hey, 3 airplanes. The third airplane also visible already. That is KLM flight 1010, binary flight number. Arriving from London Heathrow. 737-800. Marianne, thank you for your kind words, very much appreciated. Marianne says, your stream is awesome today, love it. If you are liking what you're seeing, but you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content to more aviation enthusiasts such as yourselves. Also be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams. So our pipeline consists of a few 747s still. The latest A321neo of Transavia on its way over here from Hamburg. Let's have a quick look at the, well, while we're at it, also the weather. Wind speed has increased to 19 knots now, as you guys can see, still blowing from the southwest. It is opening up, just a few clouds at 3,000 feet, no ceiling, 11 degrees Celsius, that is around 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Runway usage, we are standing over here, still the only runway being used for arrivals, and our 3 queens getting very nearby. So back to the camera very soon. We have Singapore Airlines Cargo. We have Atlas Air, the Kuehne and Nagel, if I recall correctly, yeah. And then there is the one in transition that is now flying over the Isle or in the vicinity of the Isle of Man. This is the first A321neo of Transavia. The second one was en route from Hamburg to Schiphol, so we'll see that before it. So if you don't have to be anywhere, do stick around. As you guys can see, plenty more in the pipeline. This is Swiss, arriving from Zurich, A220-100, flight 728, 1 hour and 10 minutes. It has flown to get here from Zurich, 7 years old, first flight December 2016. See the Bombardier BizJet heritage in the design. Very aesthetic airplane together with the A350. These are aesthetically my 2 most favorite modern day airplanes. And a little proxy butt shot. See-through engines, geared turbofan, high bypass. The same family of engines are mounted on the E2 Embraers. And both this airplane type and the E2 Embraers can make that trademark whale noise that you hear when they throttle up and throttle down. Wolfgang says that the E-Jet with the 1700 E-Jet sticker is on the glide slope. Sadly, it is a sticker that is placed on the left hand side and only on that side, so we won't be able to see it from over here. This is KLM flight 1010 arriving from London Heathrow. Right, up next, E2 Embraer arriving from Nantes, KLM flight 1456, and in the background we have the latest Transavia A321neo, flight 7321, the second and the latest edition, getting delivered from Hamburg. And landing here in a few moments. Another premiere. Good question mark. Does Swiss fly the 300 series as well? Don't know, man. Don't know. Yeah, no. Don't know for sure. Alrighty, KLM flight 1456, E2 Embraer arriving from Nantes. On the left side, hidden from our view, the 1700 E-Jet sticker. Don't know why they placed it unilaterally and not bilaterally. But there you go. So from this angle it looks like a regular ass E2, but it has a sticker. It did well in class and it got a sticker. Alrighty, here she comes. Channel premiere, the second ever A321neo from Transavia, flight 7321, arriving from Hamburg. The now number 8 on flight radar. 440 people are following this airplane. On its last minutes before landing on the Polderbahn, departed from Hamburg 42 minutes ago. And age says NA. Not available, not applicable. It is brand spanking new. And we have another queen coming in from the right. Or is it? Is that a queen? Yeah, that is the Singapore Airlines cargo arriving from Sharjah. Ballet in the sky, there you go. Don't forget to drop a like if you're liking ballet in the sky, pictures like these. Here she comes. Crab, crab, crab your plane gently down the slope. Pitching really low to get the airplane down. Oh, quite level. Wow. Almost a nose gear first landing. Nice. Nice way to arrive on your new home turf for the first time. Welcome, A321neo from Transavia numero 2. What a landing this one made. Well, let's check that box then first. Nice and shiny. That is looking perfectly fine. Alrighty, well, next up, a 737-900 from KLM. That is approaching, arriving from Barcelona. Just looking at the touchdown briefly. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Right, the fourth of 6 queens that are expected between now and 1:45 or something? No, 1:45. It must be then. This is Singapore Airlines cargo, flight 7396. It's a 747-400 arriving from Sharjah, where this airplane left from 7 hours and 14 minutes ago. 18 years old, this one. First flight October 2005. The airplane behind it is another Transavia, a regular 737-800 arriving from Malaga. HYS is asking about the orange spotter a bit further up ahead. That is webcam. What was it again? What's that bath place called again? Zandvoort. Webcam Zandvoort or something. Anyway, Singapore Airlines, the fourth queen of today's show. Let's look and listen. Now there are still 2 more 747s expected in the upcoming hour. Both from Atlas Air, both arriving from the United States. Both expected to land on this runway regardless of runway usage. One in the Kuehne and Nagel special livery, the other one is in transition, all white with a yellow tail. At least that's what it still says on the picture on flight radar. Right, flaps are fully retracted. Time to quickly pan back to the other side. Transavia flight 6116 up next, about to touch down here. Arriving from Malaga, 737-800, 2.5 hours underway. 7 years old, first flight May 2016. And it does feel like the wind is slowing down a little bit, so let's also have a look at the weather after this rollout. Up next, Lufthansa A320 arriving from Frankfurt. Flight 992. Right, so folks, again, the first Atlas Air is about to turn onto the glide slope, so we won't be long. Quick look at the METAR. Still says, is that still the same? 19 knot wind. I'm not buying it, it feels less. It's slowing down again, rather quickly actually. For good measure, I did copy paste it into the ticker for you guys. Touching down after 47 minutes, arriving from Frankfurt. The days. 14 years old, this one. Better days lie ahead. Righty. Now let's see, where is that Queen? Queen turning onto the glide slope somewhere further north. And my god, we do have it. Did not expect that. This is in the vicinity of Castricum, which is substantially further to the north from where we are standing. 4 airplanes on the glide slope. Perfect visibility. The first airplane to arrive here is KLM flight 1316, arriving from Bordeaux. Helicopter Kestrel is still hovering there. Right, 3 airplane glide slope shots. With the first airplane, A737-700, arriving from Zurich. The second airplane, an A320, arriving from Copenhagen. And the third airplane is the Kuehne and Nagel 7478 from Atlas Air, arriving from Chicago. From one windy city to one windy airport. This is KLM flight 1958 that is coming first. 737-700, arriving from Zurich. 1 hour and 8 minutes underway. 15 years old, first flight October 2008. Fourth airplane coming to the glide slope in the distance, in the center now. Visibility to the north, exquisite now. Also a big thank you to Stefan, who just became our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Thank you for your support, Stefan. I hope you will like it in the lounge. Be sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal whenever you see fit. And thank you so much for your support, mate. Ah, that's an interesting fact. Thank you, Wolfgang. The 747-8 that is coming now is the second to last ever produced. Well, there's new management expected for Boeing. Hopefully they will also start producing the 747 again. Pretty sure that there are hordes of people over the world that would be thrilled with that news. SAS flight 547 up next. Arriving from Copenhagen, A320neo, 1 hour and 2 minutes underway. 1 year old, first flight July 2022. The Kuehne and Nagel 747-8, the second to last ever produced, as number 2. Hey, PH-YHY, thank you so much for your support as well, mate. I thought you were a member, or you were a member already. Maybe you renewed. Welcome or welcome back to the Aurora Sky Lounge PH-YHY. For you, the same goes. Be sure to spam us with those custom emojis whenever you see the opportunity to use them. Stefan says, couldn't put a message with the membership, but this channel woke up by enthusiasm for aviation and especially planes and Schiphol. Thank you, boy, at AMS Live. Well, thank you for your kind words, Stefan. I'm happy that I was able to kindle the enthusiasm for aviation and Schiphol Airport in you. Not sure if the people living around Schiphol will be happy with that. More aviation fans, that means that they are facing more opposition when they are trying to make a fist against Schiphol Airport. Now, second to last ever built 747, or at least that's what Wolfgang informed us about just now. It is the Kuehne and Nagel Atlas Air 747-8, arriving from Chicago, touching down after 7 hours and nearly 20 minutes of flight time. Make some noise then. Come on, mate, you know you want to. Lovely with the sun on the right side today. Being in the afternoon, no backlight, but she is nice and shiny, isn't she? 1 year old, first flight October 2022. Sadly, the pilots did not seem to have listened to Let's Get Loud from Jennifer Lopez. Nor did any of the other pilots over here today. Donna asks, will I be streaming over Easter? Because then she will let Nicholas know. Don't know for sure yet, Donna. As always, it is weather dependent. And you may or may not know that for the upcoming Easter weekend over here in the Netherlands, we do expect showers on nearly all days. I believe tomorrow is the only exception, but there's precipitation in the forecasts for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well. If I can make it in between the showers, I definitely am planning to go out on all days, but as always, cannot promise you anything beforehand with 100% certainty. Wish I could, but this time of year, sadly, the weather is still too unreliable. In fact, I'm standing here with my heated gloves on still. Well, in the meantime, another KLM 737 has landed here just now. Let's pick up the next one, another 737 that is underway. KLM flight 1654, arriving from Venice, Venezia. 1 hour 29 minutes underway. And another 3 airplane glide slope shot. Konur asks, is this 1-8 right? It certainly is, my friend. Absolutely. E2 Embraer is now number 2. The number 3 is KLM flight 744, which is a 777-300 arriving from Lima, Peru. Right, KLM flight 1654, touching down. Well, it's certainly clearing up here. As you guys can see, the sun is out. Visibility to the north is exquisite. Our next airplane is an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Marseille in La France. KLM flight 1266. 1 hour 37 minutes underway. Brand new airplane, first flight July 2023. After that, it is 777 time. KLM flight 744 arriving from Lima. 777-300 ER. 11 hours and 27 minutes underway. Another airplane in the background, approaching the glide slope from the east, from the right, as you guys can see. That would be a Pegasus A321 Neo, arriving from Istanbul, by the looks of it. Flight 1253. Let's stick around for the butt shot and then quickly pan back to the north. Yeah, proxy butt shot, proxy butt shot. Here comes KLM flight 744 arriving from Peru, from Lima. 777-300 ER, 11 hours and 29 minutes underway. The PH-YHY. She is 11 years old. Her first flight was in June of the year 2012. What's that here? I'm hearing? Knock knock, it is Newcastle calling. What is up, Michael? Good to see you again, mate. Now the triple is flying in the shade while I am standing here in the sun. I hope that the sun will pop out too, and it looks like it will in a few moments, to liven up that livery. Yes. Into the spotlight. No reversal landing. The engine casing is staying shut. Alrighty, up next, Pegasus, flight 1253, A321neo arriving from Istanbul. Research says, don't complain, boy, now that you have moved the sun, shifted it to Rotterdam Zuid. Well, it's still shining over here, mate, so I'm not complaining. Just happy that it isn't so windy anymore. Even though it says 19 knots wind in the METAR, on the scale of chimney smoke it does look like a bit less wind. Chimney smoke is still rising somewhat vertically and not pure horizontally. Right, Pegasus flight 1253 up first. In the background, EasyJet flight 23445. It's like reciting a phone number. Arriving from Liverpool, A320. There's another airplane. Turning onto the glide slope in the distance. Yeah, there it is. EasyJet A319 arriving from Manchester. First up, Flypigs arriving from Istanbul. 3 hours and 13 minutes. Round average. Normally speaking, Istanbul, Amsterdam around 3 hours. Same for Athens, Amsterdam. Flypigs has landed. Oink oink. And that is another live streamer, apparently Cessna driver, filming in the background. Evan, let's see, there we go. A320 EasyJet arriving from Liverpool. In the foreground, the number 2 is the A319 arriving from Manchester. Let's see what else is coming. BizJet coming this way. Cargolux 747 outbound to Luxembourg has already taken off. No longer visible for me. probably already in the clouds. Let's see, there's an Embraer 190 arriving from Porto that should be flying left of me. Looking if I can spot it. Sadly, I cannot see it just yet. Probably is visible, but you really need to look. You really need to know where you need to look to see it. No, cannot see it. Alrighty, let's see. Arriving from Liverpool, KLM, EasyJet flight 23445. About to touch down after having flown nearly an hour exactly, according to flight radar at least. Always wonder, when is the clock starting? Is that after pushback? Is that once they have positive climb? Is it somewhere in between? Anyway, this is the Jezzer. Right, EasyJet flight 27854 up next, A319 arriving from Manchester, 51 minutes underway, 14-year-old airplane, Austrian registered. First flight was in September 2009, and also a BizJet coming this way by the looks of it. Air Service Liège arriving from London. Cessna Citation 510 Mustang at 8,000 feet. Okay, that is a bit high. BizJet, where art thou? It should be passing by a bit higher in the sky. There's probably clouds in the way. Looking out to the west, it does look nice. However, the wind is blowing from the southwest, and you can see that there are still clouds coming this way, a bit of milkiness in the sky. The Embraer 190 that I was trying to find earlier on its downwind leg, returning from Porto, has in the meantime arrived on the glide slope. Is that the only airplane right now? There is also an Embraer 175 that might enter the field of view from the left in the background. Arriving from TRN, is that Turin? Probably is, yeah, Turin. Bit of a milky backdrop now, no longer perfectly blue. Yeah, there it is, at 8 o'clock. Tiny, but it's there. Overshooting a little bit, by the looks of it. Yeah, flying a little bit back. overshooting the glide slope. There you go. Now back on the glide slope almost. And thank you for your kind words, Peter, who says compliments for your Schiphol vlogs. Are there any nice airplanes coming in today? Yeah, there is still one more 747 expected. In fact, let's have a look on flight radar after this airplane has landed. Or do we have enough time? Let's see. Well, first up, KLM flight 1712, the Embraer 190, arriving from Porto in Portugal. 2 hours and 3 minutes underway, 10 years old, first flight October 2013. Let's do have a look at the flight radar. Incoming is this 7478 from Atlas Air. As you can see, the livery, it is in transition between the old airliner it used to fly for and Atlas Air. And we saw the second ever A321neo from Transavia land on its delivery flight, and now the first of the two is also approaching Dutch airspace, expected in 20 or so minutes from now. So unless something very interesting is coming that is very close after one of these two airplanes, I think these are going to be the last airplanes for me for today. Austrian Wolf says another Singapore 747 coming out only in 3 hours. Yeah, exactly. No, still have stuff to do. In fact, I have to pick up my new passport around 6 p.m. in our town hall. Needed to get renewed. Finally, a picture that looks a bit more like what I'm currently looking like. KLM flight 1556 arriving from Turin. Not a single go around sadly today, folks. Bit of a pity. Of course, only compliments to the pilots who have landed today with the crosswindy conditions. Moped on the cycling path, just passing us by. The moped, it is. Right, let's see. Our next airplane, where is it? Should turn onto the glide slope in the distance from the right. Sun Express 737 arriving from Izmir in Turkey. Yeah, there it is. Ah, that's good to know. Yellard, thank you for the update. 5 minutes after the 747, the DHL Banana is arriving from Madrid. That is probably expected before the A321 that is now in German airspace still. Or is it? Right, this is our very next airplane. There's a little bit of a gap in between. Also a good moment to have a look at the weather. Let's go to the METAR website, refresh the page, and let me copy the text, paste it in the ticker in a moment. The wind, south-southwest, was 19 knots earlier, now 17 knots or 504. We still have 10 plus kilometers of visibility, no ceiling. We have few clouds at 2,700 feet, scattered clouds at 3,800 feet. The wind direction is variable between 180 and 240 is what it says over here. Temperature 11 degrees Celsius, 11 times 2 equals 22, plus 30 equals roughly 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Relatively low pressure and no significant changes in the weather expected in the upcoming 2 hours. Quick copy paste of the METAR into the ticker as a agricultural vehicle is passing us by on the cycling path. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look on that tablet then, shall we? Huh. Wolfgang says, Unicair Learjet coming in. Is it coming to this runway or is it going to land on... Well, it's probably going to land on runway 22, as most of those biz jets are. Let's see, what altitude is it flying on? It's the D. Kuehne. D. Kuehne Learjet 45, 18 years old, 4,100 feet and descending. Now, these are very tiny jets. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And in the meantime, we're missing the arrival of the Sun Express. That agricultural vehicle is has now entered into one of the adjacent fields over here. So we can have a look at it from the side as well in a moment. Sun Express arriving from Izmir, Turkey. Learjet in the meantime has passed by. I'm still looking, but again it's like a needle in a haystack. Those are such small planes. You really need to be lucky to see it. The machine seems to be spreading its wings. Is it going to spread its wings and fly? That's the question. Indeed, Paul, trying to find a piece of hay in an incredibly large stack of needles. That's also one way of putting it. Reversing. goes. Big wings, almost like a sailplane, but it is spraying. Really wide. Now, big picture wise, what does it look like? This is what it looks like looking to the north. And you can see clouds are forming land inward. This is looking to the northeast. This is looking to the east. Southeast. Looking to the south. Looking to the southwest. And once again looking to the west. Definitely not going to rain anymore. At least not in the upcoming 30 or so minutes. We're looking for our next airplane that is approaching the glide slope from the right, KLM flight 1906. However, there's also a Dreamliner arriving from Mexico City that should be approaching from the left side. Yeah, this is about where we should see both airplanes enter the field of view. Shot also looks to be wide enough. Oh really? Was trying to find a piece of hay in an incredibly large stack of needles from Blackadder. I have seen all the series, so, but it has been a while ago. Didn't recognize it as such. Absolutely highly recommended. Rowan Atkinson is fabulous. Also, younger people might see Dr. House in a different role. I used to know him from a bit of, what was it, Fry and Laurie? Yeah, Steve Fry and Hugh Laurie also did comedy together. That was before he became known as Dr. House. I think most people watching this channel will also remember them from that series and not so much from House. Also playing quite dumb Prince in Blackadder. Also a very big role for Turnips in the series. Well, glide slope formation in progress. 2 airplanes on the glide slope. First airplane, KLM flight 1906, arriving from Bergen, and Brer 190 in the background behind it, KLM flight 686, arriving from Mexico City, which is a 7879 Dreamliner. And a third airplane is approaching in a moment from the right. That is going to be a 737 arriving from Oslo, also from KLM. And our final queen, the 7478, arriving from Miami, is approaching from the left. Just entered over mainland North Holland. Should be visible in a couple of minutes. Not sure if we're going to see a combined glide slope shot of 4 airplanes. The third one is now approaching from the right. The 747 is still a bit further out, so I'm not sure if we are going to be able to see them all together. Well, it still has the same livery as depicted on flight radar, that much we can tell already. Alrighty. A nice 3 airplane glide slope shot there. In the foreground we have KLM Flight 686 arriving from Mexico City, a Boeing 7879 Dreamliner. Sandwiched in between the heavies is KLM Flight 1144 arriving from Oslo, 737-800. And the last 6th Air 747 of today, no less, from Atlas Air arriving from Miami is now number 3. Now, this airplane has been flying for 9 hours and 29 minutes according to Flight Radar to return from Mexico City to Amsterdam, 7 years old. First flight was in 2016 in April. So it will turn 8 next month. Alrighty, KLM Flight 1144 up next, arriving from Oslo, 737-800. And the 7478 behind it. Hey there Norbert, good afternoon, good to see you again. Hope all is well. That goes for everybody. Gear of the 747 is retracting, is extending now. Looks a bit pixelated because I'm using digital zoom now. This is back to the top end of optical zoom. Wind is a bit random. Footage was shaking very much, even though I had the tripod locked on both axes just now. Now a bit more quiet again. Just a very quick peek at the landing and then it is back to the 747. Hey, that's interesting, Wolfgang. Last year we did see a bamboo Dreamliner that landed on Schiphol Airport, probably for maintenance. Wonder if that is the one that has gone to Austrian then. They probably had many more, so probably small chance, but that is the only time that we saw a bamboo Dreamliner land over here. Somewhere last summer, I think I made it a thumbnail back then. Now going to Austrian to fly internationally. Alrighty, the 6th 747 is a 747-8 Atlas Air arriving from Miami, Florida. Flight 5219, 8 hours and 6 minutes underway. Now, it is a 747-8, but it is already 11 years old, ladies and gentlemen. First flight was in September 2012. Helicopter Castrol also still looking for mice to transport. Air taxi service, Schiphol. definitely did not disappoint in the audio department. Hey, goedemiddag Jackie. Good to see you, mate. Just in time indeed, but you did miss 5 other 747s already. We've had 6 in the stream today, and both the A321 Neos of Transavia in a couple of minutes from now. First one, the latest, it's delivery flight we saw, and the first one is approaching, hopefully going to land on this runway, but it is already flying base, so I think it will. And the banana is flying just southwest of me. I'm trying to see if I can spot it. Visibility to the west is perfectly fine today, so that banana should be flying somewhere over there. I'm trying to see if I can catch it. So far I haven't been lucky in trying to see the airplanes that are flying on the downwind leg. Even though visibility is good, you would expect to be able to see them. Ah, got it. I do have it now. Let's see. Get my bearings in again. Right, there it is. I did see it just now. Oh, that's the wrong cloud. There it is. The banana. The A300 600 arriving from Madrid. DHL on its downwind leg now. That is going to be the last airplane of the day, ladies and gentlemen. This is KLM flight 1364 arriving from Warsaw, 737-800, 1 hour and 29 minutes underway. 23 years old, first flight December 2000. Quick pan back because the second Transavia A321neo of today's stream and the very first one in their fleet is the next airplane to arrive. It is arriving from Athens. Flight 6868. Now this A321neo is the very first one in the fleet. Got delivered in November. 3 hours and 7 minutes on the way from Athens to Schiphol so far. That is nominal. Athens and Istanbul, both roughly 3 hours on average of flight time. Well, there's also a 777-200 arriving from Panama City that is right behind the A300. Okay. Delta A330 also coming in. Is it picking up now? What the F? Right, well, in that case, stretch it up until the Delta A330 has also landed. Suriname flight 993 outbound to Paramaribo has just taken off. Maleth Aero A330-200. I was informed that on, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday, the A340 did make another return flight to Amsterdam, the very, very, very last one. Well, the A300 should be entering, yeah, from the left, far left, top third. Has just turned onto the glide slope. Another BizJet flying by. Let's see what altitude. Busy with airplanes, several labels. Pressed on the wrong label there. Right. Now the entire A321neo fleet of Transavia. We have seen today the delivery flight of the second, and this is the return flight of the first. Right, ladies and gentlemen, members, it is banana time. Arriving from Madrid, A300, 600 from DHL. 1 hour 48 minutes underway, and this airplane is 30 years old. 30. March 1994 is when this airplane began flying. I think I was in the last year of elementary school then. Going to middle school / high school in the summer of, after the summer holiday of 1994. We also should see, there it is, KLM flight 721, arriving from Panama City, 777-200. And there is a third heavy underway, also approaching. If we are going to see them together, also approaching the field of view from the left, Delta Airlines flight 136 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. Can we see it already? Not just yet. Oh? Nice one. Well, that was a very nice one. Kept us in excitement. Will it land or will it go around? It landed in the end. Great show there. Right, up next, KLM flight 721 arriving from Panama City, 777-200 9 hours and 41 minutes underway. 20 years old already. First flight November 2003. The number 2, Delta Airlines flight 136, A330-300 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. Alrighty, last airplane of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Delta Airlines Flight 136. Arriving from Detroit, Michigan. It's an A330-300. 6 hours and 52 minutes on the way now to get here. Little 737 arriving from Budapest in the background from KLM. The A330 has been flying for 6 hours and 52 minutes according to Flight Radar to get from Detroit to where it is right now. This airplane has been flying in total now for 16 years. First flight was in April 2007, which means that in a month from now, in a few days, this airplane is going to turn 17. Alrighty, that was the last landing of today's stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. On that bombshell, it is time to end. Now, if the weather is favorable, I will go out again tomorrow morning. Normal time, hopefully. For now, thank you all so much for joining me here on a later stream than normal. Big thank you for all your support, guys. Cheers for the super chats, the super stickers, the memberships, the gifted memberships, the merch store purchases, the YouTube, the PayPal donations. Your support is what helps this channel grow and sustain. Thank you all so much. And also a big thank you once again to the moderators for keeping the chat friendly and accessible. You guys rock, you all do. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you again hopefully tomorrow. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. If you do like what you have seen and you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps to spread this content. See you on the next one. Bye for now.